Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new look, the newly rebranded edition of the Goose Egg Sports Podcast. We now go by the name The Hot Dish, and today we are going to be going through these Cosmopolitan magazines. No, we're not. To be honest with you guys, it's been a very hectic Friday here in the bunker. I just finished the Super Bowl, the Madden Super Bowl, and it's like currently, I think, 5:30, something like that right now, and all the Hot Dish stuff is still up. I still have to edit the Madden video. I have to edit another reel, get those out tonight. I'm filming part of a sketch tonight, and I've got to drive. So just didn't have time to mess with the backgrounds. And also, as you'll notice, I'm not joined by Jared right now. This is the first podcast I've ever done without Jared. He's taking a day off, much deserved, and I'm going to be gone all of next week in Wisconsin. So we just couldn't find a time to get together. So what we're going to do is I'm joined right now by Noah the intern. You guys know him. You love him. He was on our most popular episode ever. And so we're going to do segment 1 together, and then Jared and Noah are going to do segment 2 together, and it's going to be put together. It's going to be a beautiful time. I'm very excited to see whose segment you like better, if you'd rather co-host with me or with Jared.
Yeah. And we can get together and talk about that after.
Maybe. Yeah. But what if you end up replacing me?
What if?
That's what I'm asking. Are you good? Are you gunning for my job right now?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Fuck. I can't leave now. I'm sorry. I'm just so scatterbrained after that Madden game. Noah just watched me. You guys have seen the video by now. It'll be out, but I couldn't do it. I wouldn't say I choked in the Super Bowl.
No.
I don't think because I really only had one pick, I think.
I think it was just one interception.
Yeah, and it was just that goal line one, but I made up for that with a pick 6 of my own. So it kind of balances out. Mm-hmm. The only opportunity I had that I didn't score was that one 4th down on my side of the 50 where I had the bad animation.
Yep.
Remember that one?
Yep.
But holy fuck, what a game.
Oh, yeah. One of the best Madden games I've ever watched. I play in a Madden franchise consistently with a couple of my friends, and I don't get that excited over the games. Like, I'm talking me, not like how you were reacting. I'm talking how I'm feeling about that game. I was so into that.
Yeah, it's just tough because there's the whole season leads up to it, and I also do all the work editing the videos and putting it all together.
And the fact that you can't play you don't play games back to back. You don't come back.
Yeah,
you don't play week 1 right now. You wait do you wait a week to play the games? Or
I do 2 a week usually.
2 a week?
I think I'm gonna bump it up to 3 going forward, just so I can get through the seasons a little quicker.
But you're not just repping through a season.
No,
in a week or whatever. It takes time to get through a season.
Yeah. Do you? You're in a big Madden franchise with some friends, right?
Yeah.
You enjoy that?
Absolutely.
It's a great time.
I bought a gaming PC, and I was like, man, I can't wait to play all these PC exclusive games, and I'm stuck playing Madden.
Madden has a chokehold on people. It's the most addicting game probably in the world.
Oh, and they know that they have a chokehold on people.
Yeah, that's why they pump out the same game for $60.
Same game
every single year.
Rosters,
new soundtrack. They'll throw Jack Harlow for the music, but besides that, but yeah, there's so many games I try and go I'll get the Batman Arkham series. I'm I want to play these, but then within a week I'm just playing Madden again. I know I have a Madden problem because there's times throughout the day where I'll catch myself holding the right trigger imaginary with my hand and scrambling with the quarterback or just stuff like that. But I've played in a big user group before and it's fun, but you get fucking into it and you get sad if your team starts to lose.
Yeah,
it weighs on you. I've never felt what a coach feels like during a losing skid until I've been in a big Madden franchise.
Yeah. And then it makes the offseason feel so much, it feels so cool when you hit on because we take the draft and the offseason free agency period super serious.
Yeah.
So we're I'm trading up in the first round to get my guy and whatever it is. But
your guy named Trevor Wallace, bad example. Trevor Longbottom, another bad example. But just some fake ass name.
Yeah.
But you're I've had my eye on him since week 3.
Yeah. And then it just feels so much better when you draft them and then they have a hidden development trait and they can be an X Factor player or whatever, So yeah, we take it very serious. We don't mess around with it.
And you have that wheel, right?
Yeah, we just incorporated a wheel where we have different challenges to keep things spicy and interesting. So
what are some of the challenges?
So we have different variations of challenges. We have a wheel of fortune, a wheel of misfortune, and a wheel of mid. And I couldn't think of something in the middle,
Yeah. Mid's the perfect word.
Yeah, exactly. So the wheel of fortune is, good things that can happen to your team. So you can subtract a year off of a player. You can give a development trait upgrade to a player. You can trade for a player for scraps is like some Wheel of Fortune ideas. Wheel of Mid is more so like challenges.
Gotcha.
Like we have or like challenges. We have one where the viewers, as in the rest of the league, pick what songs you listen to while you're playing on full blast.
That's a fun
you
one.
have to listen to it on full blast. There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's super fun. Wheel of Misfortune. There's a 0.7% chance that a player dies.
I like that one.
They're just erased from the game, and I mean, it's sad, but like, it is a reality. Like, it's stuff like that does happen. So we're trying to like make it realistic.
Absolutely.
That's what you're trying to.
Do you guys play on simulation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about as real as it gets. But I like that a lot. Has anyone ever died yet?
Not yet. We've been close a few times, like just a handful of times, but.
God, and what great camaraderie too. Just being amongst the friends.
Oh yeah,
and all that.
Yeah, it honestly, like, everybody gets so excited over these wheel spins. Like, they're like, "Hey, can you get on and stream your wheel spins?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." Like,
that's fun.
Kind of bringing back the golden days of gaming or whatever.
That's what's missing from gaming right now. Maybe when I'm done with this line series, I'll hop in the franchise if you guys got room for me.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be a fun time.
Absolutely.
It is. I think this episode will be coming out on Wednesday, which means the NFL draft is tomorrow. You excited?
Absolutely.
You're a big draft guy.
The past I want to say about 2 years ago, like the 2020 draft.
Yep.
That was like the first sporting event post-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It was not post-COVID, in the midst of COVID.
But that was the first thing because they canceled March Madness.
Correct.
That year.
The NBA playoffs.
Baseball had been postponed.
Everything was postponed, but they were able to virtually do the 2020 NFL draft, and I really found myself getting into like the prospects and just because I was like, this is all that's going on.
Everyone was looking for something to do at that time period.
And boy, my team came out with a W.
Did they? Who'd they draft?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he fell to him, and man, I didn't think he was going to be there.
I think that was my favorite draft, but it was also the most awkward, just watching Goodell in his basement.
It was strange.
I thought that was very weird. I just kept feeling like someone was going to walk in on him.
Everybody's like weird setups, like Cliff Kingsbury was flexing his mansion. And
that was super cool.
It's just like got that perfect view, and he's just sitting kicked back and
just drafted a bust. I think he drafted Isaiah Simmons that year. Who hasn't really made a play yet. So. But I remember also like the players were like they're all in their family homes because they were all living at home at the time.
Yep.
Like Burrow was just with him and his parents on the couch. Yeah. Very melancholy way of getting drafted, kinda. But it was a very interesting draft. I can't believe Goodell got away with just like being in his basement. I kept expecting like his wife or a kid to walk in on accident. Yeah. Or do you think he like just straight up said like, "Do not fucking come downstairs"?
I don't know.
I
don't know if that door was locked or if he just had faith to just keep everybody out or whatever. But
whatever. I remember he was doing a big charity auction too, where he was like saying like, "Come watch an NFL game with me." In his basement. And then Dave Portnoy won. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And then they just like canceled the thing overall.
Was it just because Dave Portnoy?
I think so. And I think Goodell knows Portnoy like has it out for him.
What a dick.
Pretty much.
Not coming.
Yeah, they just canceled it completely. Which is
Did he get his money back then? Because it was like
it's a big donation. I think he donated like $1 million or something.
I mean, I'm sure it was to a great cause. I don't remember exactly.
I think they said like due to health concerns, they can no longer fulfill that aspect of it. But that's just shady. Exactly. Yeah, I think it might have been. Goodell was probably fearful of his life.
I don't want to get made fun of.
I don't want to get roasted on the internet by Barstool boys.
Yeah.
No, there's no fate worse than that when the Barstool boys get a hold of you.
No.
Jesus. Who do you like in this year's draft? Because admittedly, I have not paid too much attention to the prospects this year. Whenever it's a quarterback weak class, I find myself, and I'm sure most casual fans kind of feel the same way.
Definitely.
You're just not as into it. But if there's any player who you think is like a guaranteed lock to be a star in this draft, who do you think it is?
I think that there's a few. There's a lot of good tackle prospects in this class. I think the most anti-bust player, and knock on wood, is Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. He's a cornerback. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Your prototypical like big corner build. We're talking like prime Xavier Rhodes build. Like just kind of stocky. I forgot the amount of snaps. I believe it's in the thousands.
Okay.
Because his total career snaps, he's never allowed a touchdown.
That's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's just I think if he gets into the right system, he could be a problem. But it's tough with corners because I remember when Jeff Okudah was drafted by the Lions.
Oh yeah.
Everybody thought that was a bust-proof pick, but
there really isn't a bust-proof pick.
Exactly.
Because even like I always assume offensive linemen are a bust-proof pick because I'm like, if you're playing offensive line in college, how can that not translate to the NFL, especially if you're in like the SEC?
Yeah, the higher.
But then we're seeing with like the Matt Khalils of the world, that is a very real thing. And there's got to be nothing worse for a fan base than when your team takes a tackle or a guard in the first round and that falls through. Because when you're taking the offensive lineman, you're like, all right, this isn't a sexy pick. I'm not going to buy his jersey. This just isn't very fun, but it's going to improve the team. But when that doesn't work, that's got to suck.
Vikings have my favorite team. The Vikings have pulled that
maneuver a few
times. With these draft classes, when there's no like standout, like skills position players,
it's a meat and potatoes draft.
Yeah, it is. What's really cool about this first round and is going to keep me watching from start to finish is the uncertainty of when players are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a tweet from, I don't know who, sorry.
It's okay. I never know anyone who I cite in this podcast.
They said that they had been dealing with draft prospects and like mock drafts and all that sort of thing for 10 plus years. And they said that this was the hardest year to create a mock draft just because of the uncertainty of there's not even a set in stone top 3 players. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing stuff that like players who were projected outside of the top 10 are now questionably going in the top 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a time of the year for hope for NFL teams, especially when you have a lot of draft picks.
Definitely.
Maybe false hope sometimes.
A little bit. Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people too. This is by far the most ambiguous draft there's been in a while. I mean, there's also, for the first time that I can remember in a long time, I can't think of a team that's really desperate for a quarterback. There's teams that need a quarterback. The Steelers, the Saints, you could maybe argue. But there's no one who's like desperate. Like they can't win a game without a quarterback. Everyone either has like someone established or someone they have hope in. Like the Jaguars, usually the first overall pick is a guaranteed quarterback, but they already took like the second coming last year.
Allegedly.
Are you a Trevor Lawrence guy or no?
Yeah. It's so tough to get a read on him because of the terrible coaching staff he was in last year. I think you got to give him a chance with.
I think so too. I think Doug Peterson's a perfect fit for him.
I think so too.
I'm a big Doug Peterson fan. I thought when he was on the Eagles, he was a top 5 coach in the league.
I mean, he outcoached Bill Belichick in that Super Bowl, and that's not the easiest thing to do in the world.
No, definitely not. Are there any sleeper prospects that you think aren't getting talked about enough, or that you would take if you had like a later first round pick?
Later first round. There's a few guys that I really like that because of whatever reason aren't getting talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
Jameson Williams, the receiver out of Alabama, he tore his ACL in the national championship game. He's kind of that take the top off the defense kind of wide receiver. And because of that ACL injury, I think a lot of people are starting to push him back in the rankings a little bit. Now, that's like the public's view. It's always tough to get like what NFL teams are thinking because I've seen
it's smokescreen season.
Exactly. So I've seen a lot of things that are like, the NFL is higher on this guy than the public is, or the public is higher on this guy than the NFL is. So I really like Jameson Williams, and NFL teams might too, but the public seems to be sinking on him a little bit. David Ojabo is an edge rusher out of Michigan. He also got injured during a pro day or something.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip on Twitter or Instagram or anything? He's running maybe like a 3-cone drill or something, and he collapses. He like off of like a break, and then all of the reporters and like scouts don't walk up. Nobody walks up to him and asks.
They start writing things down.
Yeah, they just start writing things down, and someone literally just walks. I mean, within like 2 feet of him, and just walks by.
It's so cold.
It is
the way they treat these.
It's a business.
These human. It really is. Like it's such a cliche thing to say. It's such a cliche thing to say. Oh, the NFL is a business. But when you actually see it like that, like when they're just treating these players like commodities or like assets, it's very bizarre.
Yeah, I mean at the end of the day, they're people, but does everybody in the organization see that? Like
No. They're playing the stock market. It's an investment game for them.
Exactly.
They're trying to buy low, sell high. Your Vikings have the 15th pick. They're right in that 12. My bad. They have the 12th pick. They're right smack dab in the middle of things. Who do you think they take?
So I've thought about this more than I probably should.
Who do you think they take versus who do you want them to take?
I thought about this more than I probably should have. I'm sitting in class or whatever, and I'm like,
grades are rough this spring.
Yeah, grades are dropping, and I'm thinking, who should the Vikings take at 12? Well, I like Sauce Gardner. He's not making it there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can dream.
Oh yeah.
Vikings aren't trading up. That's not in their blood. They don't do that. Derek Stingley Jr. had an insane 2019 season as a true freshman. I don't know if you remember. He's on LSU.
Okay, yeah.
That stacked team. That stacked.
I think we're
roster.
gonna look back. That LSU team is probably the best college team of all time.
I think so as well. I mean, they sent a lot of guys pro.
Yeah, they're all doing well in the pros too.
I like Derek Stingley. I like Trent McDuffie, corner out of Washington. Kind of a smaller guy, but he plays mean. But I also like the idea of not going defense.
Really? Because everything I've seen says they need to go defense no matter what.
That's what a lot of people think. We're going with a new defensive set where we're not relying on our corners as much.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring pressure. We actually have an edge rushing position now instead of a standard hand in the dirt defensive end. Hopefully we can bring a little more pressure and take some relief off the corners. I don't mind. So in my opinion, let me ask you this, right? Okay. Say you're at the 12 spot and you're in the Vikings position.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably going to be a lot of teams in this type of a spot, right? So you have, I'd say their main need is cornerback.
Okay.
You get to 12, the two top cornerbacks are gone. Not one receiver has gone. Do you take the third best corner at 12, or do you take a shot at the best receiver at 12?
I always struggle with this. I never know if you should draft for need or just based on pure talent. I go back and forth with it. I think if we're in an offensive league and you're competing with a team like the Packers and you have a new offensive coach, I think you go with the better player. I think if you think that he's a better receiver than the third best corner, I think you go with the receiver. Personally.
I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs have kind of proven like the whole defensive thing. I know that they haven't won a Super Bowl in the past two years.
Yeah. Shame on them.
Yeah. Terrible organization, but they're pretty damn relevant,
Mm-hmm.
Their cornerbacks are borderline atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good or bad let's just say your secondary is when you're putting up 21 to 28 points in a quarter or two of football, They just dropped 44 on me in the Super Bowl. Exactly. When your offense can fire at will, I know everybody will kind of default back to the defense wins championships.
I think that is the case too come January. But in terms of just making the playoffs, I think you can make the playoffs with a bend don't break defense, and I think you can make it far into the playoffs with a bend don't break defense.
And that's not to say that I think the Vikings defense is horrible, but they're just very middle of the pack, Minnesota Vikings things, middle of the pack. But.
Yeah, I think they're in that perfect trade down area too. I would not be surprised if a team who wants a quarterback trades up to 12 to get it, and I don't think the Vikings would be opposed to trading down.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw something about, or I heard somebody say something about Malik Willis.
Oh yeah,
if you're interested,
I'd love to hear
You know who
it.
He is, right?
Yep.
Quarterback out of Liberty.
I do.
Somebody said if he gets, this is I'm just saying somebody because
again,
it's like my friend said this.
Again, smokescreen.
He's a Minnesota sports reporter.
Mm-hmm.
So he has some relevancy in the field.
He's not Joe Schmo.
No. He said if Malik Willis gets in the right system, he's the next Michael Vick.
Okay.
Word for word. He said if you get him in the right system, nobody's been able to run and throw like that since Michael Vick.
Would it be idiotic for the Vikings to take him?
And then that got brought up too. If a non-quarterback needy team, let's just expand beyond the Vikings, right? If a non-quarterback needy team that has a somewhat aging quarterback, the Titans have Ryan Tannehill.
Yep.
Those early to mid 30s guys. I think that why not? If he drops beyond that 10, 12, 15 mark, why wouldn't you take a shot on him?
I think so too. And I think we're seeing that trend more and more of teams will move up to draft a quarterback, even though they kind of have a guy on their roster already. mean, remember last year, there was a lot of talk that the Falcons would maybe take Justin Fields.
Mhm.
And I think they made the right move by sticking with Matt Ryan, even though it didn't work out a year later. But I think we're seeing more and more teams just realize if you don't have a top 10 quarterback, you don't really have a chance.
Exactly. And if you can find a top 10 guy on a rookie contract, that's when it becomes
That's the money.
endless possibilities.
Exactly.
Because you can sign these star players.
That's what the Chargers are doing.
Yeah, and your quarterback's playing for what, 3, 4, whatever they drafted him, a couple million a year. So.
Yeah, and that's really your only opportunity to compete in a salary cap league because not everyone is Tom Brady and takes a discount.
Exactly.
Well, I wish you and the Vikings luck this draft. I think it'll be a fun one. I think they'll figure it out. Thank you guys for watching segment 1. How do you think it went? Do you think Jared's segment's gonna go better?
I don't know. It depends on what we're going to talk about. I don't know if we're just going to expand on the.
It'll just be the Vikings hour.
Yeah,
I would imagine. I've sat next to you guys for the past few months. I'm sure the next segment will just be pure Vikings talk.
I guess I'll get back to you after Jared and I.
Yeah, just
finish our segment. I'll give you a call immediately after.
Yeah, just don't forget how much fun this segment was.
Yeah, I won't.
That's all I ask. All right, guys. Enjoy your draft week and enjoy segment 2 with Jared and Noah. Say Noah.
Yeah.
Do you like making money?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a bit of a sports connoisseur?
I do.
Well, then I have the perfect thing for you. It's called DraftKings Sportsbook, which is the official sports betting partner of the Goose Egg Sports podcast. For those of you who don't know, DraftKings, it's like my favorite thing in the entire world. You can bet game lines. The NFL draft is coming up. You can bet on who you think the first pick will be. You can do over-under on quarterbacks taken in the first round. I believe 1.5 is the over-under right now for QBs taken in the first round.
Crazy.
What do you think the over-under? What's the play?
Obviously, depends on all on the lines there, but I'm taking the over on that.
Okay, you heard it here. That's legit financial advice from Noah. No, it isn't. But if you're into daily fantasy, they got that too. I'm big into daily fantasy, especially during the NBA playoffs. It's a great time. So if you're just looking to get some skin in the game and have a little bit more fun with your sports experience, head on over to DraftKings today. It's just the place to be. Must be 21 years or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Matt's gone. He's in Milwaukee, I think, right now. Thank God. Did you like podcasting with him or not really?
Hated it.
Really?
Hate the guy.
Yeah. He's such a tool. Like when you guys were talking about that David Joby guy, he's like, oh, that's fucking awful. Nobody did anything. He wouldn't have done anything. There's no chance that Matt would have done anything with him. He would have stood there just like all the other scouts and everything.
Oh, Matt.
He just thinks he's like the, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, he just thinks he could just handle any situation, but he can't at all. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to be in Vegas this coming week for the draft. Very excited. I leave Tuesday night and I'll be there till Saturday. So I will see Thursday night and Friday night for the draft. So I'm super excited. I'm going to blow a lot of money. I'm going to walk a lot and I'm going to try to boo Roger Goodell when I'm there too.
Awesome. Yeah.
So do you know of anything I should say to Roger Goodell if I have like 5 minutes alone with him?
Something we did talk about, I think in segment 1 was the donation thing. You remember that? How?
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Spend $1 million and like hang with Goodell.
Yeah. Maybe he would just let you hang out with him since that never happened.
Yeah,
maybe just ask him to hang out.
Maybe
he's just misunderstood.
Yeah, maybe I can ask him. I can announce a name on the podium for the draft. So that'd be cool.
There are some guest appearances quite often.
Maybe I'm one of them.
Maybe.
Yeah, we just don't know it yet. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna spend a lot of money. Do you see all these props, right? Like for like the first overall pick, it sounds like it could be Trayvon Walker now and not Aiden Hutchinson.
The tides have shifted.
Yeah, and I've never seen it's been a while. I've never seen like a mystery around the first overall pick. It's been since about like Mario Williams in like 06. Yep.
And people are kind of comparing Trayvon Walker to that,
right?
Like that scenario a little bit. Because it's just pure athleticism that they're betting on at this point.
Yeah, and I don't really know the red flags with Aiden Hutchinson though.
People are just kind of saying like, yeah, he's not Nick Bosa, and it's like, it's okay, it's okay, yeah, but he's a day one contributor.
Yeah.
But I think people get the common misconception that someone needs to be a game wrecker at the first overall pick.
Yeah, and I feel like the defensive ends are super deep in this draft, especially in the first round.
Definitely.
I think it's like 5 deep quality starters off the bat.
Yeah, definitely.
That George Claffer, whatever his name is.
Karloftis.
Yeah. It's the first time I ever heard anybody say his name, so like I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But he looks good. Thibodeau looks good. Hutchinson looks good. Walker looks good. There's another guy I'm forgetting. One of you like him, I forget. Defensive end. Michigan dude, right?
David Ojabo.
Ojabo, yeah. So
he's the guy. Someone will get a steal out of him because
Yeah.
he's not playing first season. I think he tore his Achilles in that
yeah,
workout that Matt definitely would have helped him up in.
yeah, right. So he'll probably drop second, third round.
Probably.
Which wouldn't be a bad pickup.
No, I've seen him mocked like early second because he was projected like top 10, 12-ish before the injury. So and the board's been switching up so much as of the past month.
Even though past week.
Yeah, every week it's different.
Because like there's talk of that NC State tackle being number 1 pick now too.
Ikemikwanu.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't say any of these names.
There's a Penn State edge rusher who's got a funky name, and I couldn't even. It's just a bunch of letters like thrown into one.
I'm so uncultured. Like I just only name I know is like a Joe Smith. Like that's it. So you think it's Trayvon Walker number 1 overall? If you're a betting man,
I don't know. I saw that something today that the Jaguars GM wants Trayvon Walker. I forget his name, but he's just kind of
bulky.
Yeah, great drafter, supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah.
And the owner wants Aiden Hutchinson. So
okay, so it might be Aiden then. Why not just trade down?
If there's that much of a.
But they're probably nobody probably wants the first overall pick this year either.
That's the thing is I don't know if you can find a partner for that trade.
Right. There's like no Andrew Luck on the board or anything like that.
No. You're not getting normal value for a trade down.
Yeah. That's too bad. It's like you always hear about these teams like, oh, we should tank for the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
And then it comes to like this time and like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? There's not really like, there's great players.
There is.
But it's nothing worth tanking over. Which I think tanking is completely overrated.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, we just tank for the number 1 overall pick, but there's not always going to be a great pick at the litter.
Yeah. A lot of people are already saying like tank for next year's quarterback class, and everybody's hyping up this next year's quarterback class.
Yeah, because it'll be like Bryce Young. I know that for sure.
Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
Oh, yeah,
Ohio
Stroud.
State.
Yeah.
I think Florida is pumping out a good quarterback next year too.
That's right. I forgot about that. Huh.
But yeah, there's draft strategies this year that are people are already like going into thinking next year's draft. Like they're saying, oh, like as the Texans or whatever, don't draft a great player, draft a tackle, like an offensive tackle, and like just be like, I've seen something like a draft strategy, draft Evan Neal, Alabama's starting tackle, and then that's just fuel for Bryce Young to want to come play for you next year. So they're already thinking like, fuck this draft class. Let's think about next year. What can we do to get Bryce Young here?
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll draft. I think him and Evan Neal are friends. Let's get them together.
Yeah.
I think they had lunch at the cafeteria together. So for all they know, they could just absolutely fucking hate each other and still draft.
They were roommates freshman year for a semester.
Yeah. They hung out at one party together that we did some intel on. They were beer pong partners. So why not just draft them for the next year? They could reminisce about that one time they played beer bong with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited for the draft. And one of my favorite parts, like right after the draft, is Mel Kiper has a mock draft like that Sunday for the next year.
Yeah.
That's always hilarious to me. That dude lives and breathes this weekend.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be there though, because he's not vaccinated.
So he can't be there then?
He'll be like remotely, like doing like NFL Live. So it'll be interesting.
He's had some beautiful takes in the past few years. Have you ever watched just a compilation of just bad Mel Kiper draft takes?
Well, yeah, wasn't it fucking Jimmy Clausen?
He loved Jimmy Clausen, saying that he was like a franchise quarterback. I forgot who he was taken above.
Yeah, it was like
exactly.
2011 draft. Oh no, that was 2010 maybe. I don't even remember. But he said something like, "If Jimmy Clausen's not a star quarterback, I will quit my job."
Yep. And he is still.
But to be fair, Jimmy Clausen still could be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
We just don't know it yet.
We don't know it yet. Yeah. It's like Matt's take about Josh Rosen. He thinks Josh Rosen still can be a great quarterback, even though he's been on 3 different teams. It hasn't really panned out at all.
Yeah.
So that's just a classic Matt take.
He had a hell of a post-draft quote. That'll go down in history.
Which one was that?
Saying that there were 8 mistakes taken ahead of him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like the 9th overall pick or
Something
whatever.
like that,
and he was saying, there were 8 mistakes taken ahead of me. And then he just proceeded to not do shit.
Get cut after his first year, or traded after his first year, and then got Kyler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had the first overall pick, so.
Yeah. They like tanked almost for Kyler. I got nothing else to add. Do you have anything else to add? Just have fun. Get a case of beer.
Yeah.
Watch the draft.
I mean, you get what you take out of the draft.
That's true. That's a good quote.
It is, because a lot of people find it really, really boring.
It can be. Like the day 3 gets really boring.
It does. It stretches out a little bit. You guys talked about in 2 episodes ago that the tweets are already out, like 3 picks, 4 picks ahead, and you're sitting there and you're like, well, I know these next 4 picks. You're not even watching.
Yeah.
You just gotta find ways to have fun during the draft.
Maybe make a bingo sheet or something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I personally love the draft.
I
think
do too.
I think it's incredible. Teams can kind of flip from horrible to great. I mean, I think the Bengals kind of proved that last year, drafting Jamar Chase. That's one of the quickest rebuilds
in a while. Yeah, I was like, that Jamar Chase pick makes sense, but their offense line is just garbage.
See, because I was thinking the same thing at the time.
Yeah,
and
it's a good pick, but like, I don't know about this.
It was, because they didn't make too many changes from 2020 to 2021 on their offensive line. Nothing.
I mean, it did catch up to him though.
It did.
Way
It did.
end,
It did.
I mean, still, they don't get to the Super Bowl without Jamar.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to do for a drinking game.
Okay.
I want you to make your mock drafts, first 32 picks.
Oh boy, I don't like where this is going.
And each one you don't hit, you got a shotgun of beer.
Man, especially this year, that's gonna be tough. I'll probably be like 29 beers shotgun.
Get
Just
3 right?
shotgun a case, probably. Because the thing is I know guys that can go in the top 10, but I don't know. I have no idea where.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like every team could use an Aiden Hutchinson. It doesn't matter who you are. Every team can use a Sauce Gardner. It doesn't matter who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, falling to the right team, it's just like, they'll just take him, whoever it may be. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's your homework assignment, so now you have to do it. So,
I'll make that mock draft tonight. I'll bring it in, print it out.
Yeah, you better not be fucking hungover on Friday.
Tape it up on the whiteboard or something. We'll tape it up and
he better not be hungover.
go 32 for 32.
You're just sober as a bird when you get back to the office. You just nailed it.
I'd put money on that, and I wouldn't be in on Friday.
I'd retire.
I'll be gone.
You parlay all 32 of them?
I'll be gone.
Yeah, if you parlayed 32 straight oh my God, that's a big leg.
That is.
You could probably retire.
Definitely. And the odds have to be incredible with that because of how many different possibilities there can be.
Yeah. It's like getting struck by lightning 32 times.
Exactly.
In a row.
Yeah, if I'm not here Friday,
if
I'm not here Friday,
right.
The 32 leg hit. So
yeah, you'll be driving a Corvette to work on Monday. Yeah, that's my mock draft Corvette.
What the fuck happened over the weekend? Just like 32 legger, 32 legger. Like,
I was and Fuego.
People are gonna be so confused. People who don't like have any clue about betting, they're gonna be like 32.
Dude, fucking, what is he talking about? Could you imagine? You do a mock draft. Like you got the first 31 correct, your heart would just be pumping at the end for that.
Oh
last
God,
yeah.
Because those 31 don't matter if that 30 seconds.
Oh yeah,
hit,
you're done. Yeah, you couldn't cashed out either. Like yeah.
Well, because some team's gonna come in and pull a John Gruden at some point and be like, "I'm just smarter than you guys. I'm drafting this second round talent."
Right. They're gonna reach for him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Raiders did that a while ago. It was like this is like 10 years ago. They were like in the second round and they drafted a 7th round values safety. It was Mike Mitchell.
Okay.
And Mike Mayock was like, I don't understand why they're picking him in the second round. It's like he was dumbfounded by it.
Yeah.
But that's the way Al Davis did it back in the day. He just did not care what anybody else thought. And he loved speed. Speed kills.
Put their own grades on their players. And
Yep. Like Darius Hayward Bay, speed guy.
Oh yeah.
So they always went for that. I don't know. All right. I got nothing else. I think we'll wrap. Do you have anything else, Dad?
No, I think everybody should just live by that draft quote.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you take out of it.
8 mistakes.
8 mistakes.
Yeah.
32 legger, 8 mistakes.
8 mistakes. Not a parlay. All right. We'll see you guys. Check out our Instagram, our TikTok. I'll be posting some stories and some reels when I'm down there. So just keep an eye out. And you can DM us and I can say whatever you want to Roger Goodell. So just let me know. Not whatever, but you know what I mean. I'll get his ear. We'll talk to him for a little bit. So, all right. See you guys. Bye.
Later.